So, today, doing these, I've really realized how much I say, um, um. Today, I want to talk about cigarettes. Um, um, I was rewatching something with an actor I like, and he smokes in it. And, I don't smoke anymore. I smoked in my 20s mostly. Not in my 20s now, surprise, surprise. and, uh, and I quit because, it made it hard to sing, it made it hard to walk up hills, it made it hard to recover after you're sick. And it just seemed like a dumb thing to do to your body. But God, I miss it. I miss the prop of having a cigarette. There's so many cool things you can do when you have a cigarette in your hand, and when you don't have one, it's just not the same as having a cigarette in your hand. Oh. Anyway, the way I started smoking was because I was always one of those people who would never smoke. Never smoked in high school. Didn't smoke when I started college, but then I started working at the school cafeteria, and it just seemed like all the interesting people who worked there were the ones who smoked. Like they were the people I wanted to hang out with. And so when they would go outside for their smoke breaks, I think it started just by me hanging out with them without smoking. And nobody was ever like, "Hey, Andrea, don't you want to have a cigarette? Come on." I mean, we were, at this point we were older, not super old, but it wasn't like that. It's just, they were smoking. And all of a sudden one day I was just like, "Can I try one?" And it's not like it was great. It was just something I liked doing with other people. It was nice to be one of those people who took your smoke breaks. I've always said that like, in a weird way, it helped you establish the healthy habit of taking a break from your work, because you had to go out to have your cigarette, right? So, you, so you would stop what you were doing, and you would go outside, and you would take a break from work. And I actually think that's a really healthy way to be. Smoking isn't healthy, but taking a break from work is healthy. And there was this crew of people, mostly guys, that I worked with. I remember some of them, Danny and Johnny and Phil, and they told interesting stories, and they were kind of funny, and they were just great people to hang out with, and so I associated that with smoking too. And then later, when I started playing music, everybody was smoking. It was cool. And actually, that was something that had turned me off from smoking when I was in high school, because I was sort of into goth music, but I could never get into the goth scene because they were all way too cool for me, and they all smoked. And the super aloofness and coolness of them, kind of turned me off to smoking. I remember going to a Love and Rockets show in high school and feeling like I hadn't worn enough black, that I just wasn't bored and pissed off enough to fit in. But what I really liked when I actually started smoking was these guys that I hung out with. They were funny, they weren't aloof, they weren't too cool for anybody. They were just really interesting guys to hang out with, and they happened to smoke, so I started smoking too, because it seemed like something that interesting people would do. And then when I started playing music, it served me well, I suppose, because you could kind of be a part of that ridiculous image of, being a musician who smoked, because that's cool, or whatever. But it didn't start that way. And what I really miss about smoking the most, other than having the prop in your hand, is just that mystique, or that idea that you would maybe get into a really interesting conversation, or nights that you sat at a bar with someone drinking and smoking and talking for a really long time. And the cigarettes kind of help you keep going. They're stimulants, so they help you keep talking. I miss that. I miss that a lot. I don't miss having tar and shit in my lungs. I don't miss that at all. I don't miss that hacking cough. But I miss the social. There's an art to holding a cigarette, to using it to gesticulate when you're speaking. I like to watch other people do it. I like to do it myself. I still like to watch it in movies and television. I mean, it will be endlessly fascinating to me probably until the day I die. But I don't smoke because it's not healthy. And right now there's a respiratory disease going around. This is time of the virus chronicles, and if there were ever a bad time to smoke, it would be now. Don't smoke. Okay. Take care.